In fact, we're going to pick up on that note and get more reaction on the crime stats from Popcru's Richard Mamabolo, who joins us right now on All Angles. A very good afternoon and thanks for making the time. 99,754 suspects for various crimes, including murder, rape, assault, and other serious charges. That's according to the minister's Operation Shanela. What's your reaction given everything that the minister has had to say earlier today?
Good afternoon to you and the viewers. I think we firstly agree with the minister that these decreases should not be a cause for celebration. When you observe the crime statistics over the past 2-3 years, you will notice that there isn't some significant changes in the increases or the decreases thereof. So for us, it's quite a worrying trend, because I think the main purpose of having crime statistics actually being moved from a yearly basis to a quarterly basis would have been to ensure that law enforcement officials are given sufficient data to actually identify areas within which they need to invest more energies in ensuring that they limit the crime rates. Now, consider a situation like what has been happening in eNCA and Umlazi in KZN, for example, and of course the Western Cape. Some of the trends show that over the few years that we've noted, certain criminal acts have been on a continuous increase. Whether they've been on a decrease or an increase, the main factor is that they've been within the top 5. And of course, that also speaks to the challenges, underlying challenges that we face within those areas. For example, you've got one police station in eNCA, which is providing services to a community of over 158,000 people. And that, of course, would then say that there needs to be efforts in ensuring that we need to capacitate such stations. And of course, I think that's the general view across the country. So crime statistics for us are not just an end in themselves, but a means to an end. And we do not see that happening as often as it should. So that is one worrying factor. And of course, I think if we are to continue with this trend wherein there are announcements about crime statistics on a quarterly basis without there being any action dealing with whatever these outcomes are, we're likely not to find any changes in the near future.
Rich, as a union, I imagine you'd be concerned and somewhat very worried about the figure of 31 police officers killed in the 3-month period that you've just mentioned. The minister spoke about this a little earlier when he was talking to the police killings and the police wellness. What's your reaction to that?
Yes, we are indeed worried. I think this has been an ongoing trend, and the SAPS, rather the minister, has been reduced to addressing memorial services and attending funerals over the past years. And we had actually made it quite clear that one of the things that you need to deal with is to ensure that you increase the danger allowance, which has been moved from 400 to 700, which is still not sufficient, but as well as ensuring that there is sufficient capacities. I think over the past years, we've seen a high increase in the number of police killings. Some of them happen when they're on duty, and of course, some of them happen while they're off duty. Coupled with that is the fact that police stations have been attacked. And of course, the main reason behind this has been due to the criminals wanting to get hold of firearms that are used by police officers. And in some instances, on the basis of the investigations that these individual police officers might be conducting. So there has not been a clear plan from the SAPS. And of course, this is one of the issues that we've been raising with even the previous National Police Commissioner, that we need to develop a plan. But of course, as well, legally, we think there needs to be some stringent measures with regards to legislative issues. The killing of police officers should be considered to be an act against the state, should be considered to be treasonous. So that is one approach that needs to be taken. But as well, the fact that police are understaffed means that they would obviously be susceptible to such incidents because they work in smaller numbers. And of course, by you merely wearing a police uniform or driving a police vehicle, you automatically become a target of criminals. And those are some of the things that I think we need to obviously explore further. As a result of this, as a union, we will be having a policing endeavor next week, wherein we will obviously be looking into all these other challenges that the criminal justice cluster in its entirety faces. And of course, key amongst those would be to look into how we can actually curb police killings in our country.
Rich, before I let you go, obviously it is encouraging, and the minister did mention this as he opened his address earlier today, saying that there does seem to be an increased visibility of personnel on the ground. But I imagine from where you're standing, more can be done. If so, what?
No, definitely more needs to be done. In fact, one of the issues that we have raised is that we've got a duplicated SAPS structure at national and provincial levels, which has got more of the budget concentrated at that level, as opposed to policemen and women being on the ground. So we need to restructure the SAPS as one of the moves that needs to be considered, but as well as ensuring that crime is no longer a police matter. We need to get as much involvement within communities as possible, so that we then have a joint effort in addressing some of the challenges which police face in our country.
And of course, at the moment, the biggest pain point here in Johannesburg in particular are zamazamas. I mean, as a union, do you have anything to say or speak on that?
Look, as well, including the issue of zamazamas, it's not one thing that you can obviously blame.
That was Richard Mamabolo from Popcru chatting to us this afternoon here on All Angles.